So after putting my 2 cents on Geekdom and Dragon Lee's Ultimate Gohan video that I made yesterday, clearing up that situation, all of you guys were asking me, did I watch the Geekdom video where he talks about the Dragon Ball reboot? Now, the Dragon Ball reboot is something that's been going around ever since Takashi Kubota made some comments about being interested in rebooting Dragon Ball, or at least being part of that discussion or being part of that process later down the line. If you guys don't know who Takashi Kubota is, he's the guy that animated the entire intro for Dragon Ball Super Superhero, where the entire thing is the only traditional animated section of DBS Superhero, and it looks freaking fantastic. He reanimated everything from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z, and it just looks really good and really faithful to the way that Dragon Ball looked like really early on, and it's something that a lot of people have been talking about because it's just some darn good animation. So since you guys asked, I checked out Geekdom's video to see exactly if he had any more information, and to my surprise, he actually does have a little bit more information, but it's not on what you guys might think. So watching the video itself, he is talking about a CBR article that also credits Sportskeeda, which are both like Aldi's version of Dragon Ball news or anime news online. They are not really like credible in a lot of sense. Probably not the best way to get this sort of information. It is an interesting thing to talk about. It's an interesting way to kind of dive into this information because it is the animator of the beginning of this movie, and the way that it looked was amazing. But I mean, you're getting it from like CBR, so it kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth. And that's exactly where Geekdom was at in this video. He felt like he really didn't want to talk about it because CBR is the one that's breaking the news, quote unquote, which wasn't really breaking news because everybody by this point was talking about it. So there's not really much there. And I agree with Geekdom in the video where he says that he thinks in like 20 years or so, maybe a little bit less than that, we'll get a renewal, a reboot of Dragon Ball all the way to Dragon Ball Z and maybe even Super, and maybe make it similar to how like Hunter x Hunter has done it before in the past, and Full Metal Alchemist, you know, animes like that. But hold on a second, Geekdom actually said something that wasn't even related to the reboot, that is something about a project that we actually know something about, and I didn't know that he knew this. And so I'll just play the clip for you guys.
And I did do a stream last December where I discussed that one source told me that there is a web anime in pre-production. Now, that's one source. I was very honest with you guys. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's breaking news, but it was one source.
So I know, Geekdom has had a long history of being portrayed as somebody who breaks information, has all these sources, and really nothing ever pans out. But that's only really due to the 1918 situation with Dragon Ball Returns. Before that, Geekdom was actually getting a lot of pre-information for the Dragon Ball Super anime, and even a little bit after that, about Dragon Ball Super Broly. So personally for me, I take what Geekdom says credible. I think these people are actually talking to him. I do think that he has got some inside sources, but at the same time, I do think that he is just at the mercy of, like we are. We are all at the mercy of what Toei Animation ultimately decides to do with this franchise that we all love to watch. But this is the first time that I've ever heard Geekdom say that he had at least one person on the inside tell him that they are in pre-production for a web anime, and he really doesn't know what the web anime is. He even says that it could be some sort of reboot of sorts, something like that, even though he had originally said that he would like a reboot to happen in like 20 years, or he thinks that's when it would happen. He's saying now that this could possibly be something. And with somebody talking to him from the inside with one source, I just thought this was kind of newsworthy. Like, we finally get somebody from Geekdom's camp that can confirm the existence of the web anime that before we really only had a few leakers explain to us before. And he makes a very good case for 2024 for something Dragon Ball to release, mainly due to the fact that it is the 40th anniversary of Dragon Ball, so it would make sense that they would go big or go home on the 40th anniversary. So personally for me, I think that it all kind of aligns up. I do think that they are having a web anime in production right now, and I think that web anime meaning it's only going to be online, and it's going to focus on a spin-off. I think some sort of spin-off, something that the manga can't touch, because I think they're trying to separate the manga from anime as of right now, at least in sense of having them run alongside each other. I think that they're waiting for the manga to get a little bit ahead before they start, you know, adding more lore to it, or vice versa. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below.
Subscribe for more content.